Good morning, ladies. It's not quite 9 o'clock yet, and it's Thursday. The week seems to be kind of messed up for me because I've missed a day traveling for the long weekend. But that's okay, we're going to catch up. Aside from the homework, one of the things that we discussed at the week number 2 meeting slash presentation slash recording was the different personality styles. And I said I wanted to look into those or dive into those a little bit more with you. It's really proven to be amazing for myself and for other of my Jam sisters to understand our personality styles. Once we understand those, we tend to be able to recognize the personality styles of others, and then we better know how to communicate with them for better communication. For example, I always thought before I took that test that I was like a strict D personality, very decisive, very competitive, very results driven, no fluff, no warm and fuzzies, just give me a task, tell me what you need done, then leave me alone and I'll do it. Turns out I've got a combination of a few. But for today, for the next minute, I'll say, I want to talk about the D personality styles because I saw a few of you have a mix of D in your own tests. Now, D personality styles are usually very direct and they're very decisive. Sometimes we're even described as dominant. We prefer to lead, not follow. And we tend to be in leadership or management positions. We have higher self-confidence than others, but we also take a lot of risks. We're sometimes known as problem solvers. I don't always love doing that, but sometimes I actually really do. So often, sometimes when things get tough, people look naturally towards people with a D personality style for help and guidance. D personality people tend to be self-starters, and when they're part of a team, we look at the big picture and we look at the results as opposed to focusing on each little step to get there. So at the end of the day, if you're talking to a D personality about Jamberry, for example, you're not going to start talking to them about the story of how the company started. You're not going to talk about all the different finishes for all of our wraps. You're not going to talk about how many wraps there are. You're not going to talk about the lacquers being 5 free. Those are important details, but D personalities don't really want to know that. You know what we want to know? Oh, cool, 300 styles? Awesome. How much? How do I get them? Bang, done, end of conversation. And that's kind of where a lot of the D people tend to rub people the wrong way, because they're sometimes seen as cold, and we're not cold at all. We're just results driven. You guys remember the Friends franchise on TV? You remember Monica? She was like super competitive, super OCD, super goal. Monica was a D personality. So I've got a little bit of Monica in me, and I think most of us do, some a little more than others. And we need to know that that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just makes for an interesting conversation or communication exchange. So if you have people on your team or people who are customers or people who are hostesses who are D personalities, when you learn to recognize this early on in the conversation, the information you share with them at the beginning changes substantially. We'll look at the other personality types tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday, but and I'm going to post a link where you can learn a little bit more about the D personalities. It's not a long read, maybe 5 minutes while you're sipping your coffee. And then I want you to think about some customers, past or present, or hostesses, past or present, or maybe even potential recruits that have the D personality type traits, and think about how maybe your next chat with that person might go based on the information that you learned today. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you online.